Welcome to the session number 13 of Patanjali Meditation 102. We are discussing Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. A quick review of what we discussed last week. Let's do the screen share. Yeah. So this is our title slide. We are 13th session. A review of last week, session number 12. We didn't quite do any new statements of Patanjali, but we took the opportunity to have an overview. I gave an example that 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, using a metaphor of a meeting with the head of state. So as if, because now we have discussed Ishwar Pranidhan, meditation is, in PM101 we used to emphasize bringing our mind to a calm state. But now, having understood the concept of Ishwar Pranidhan, we are saying we want to bring our mind to a calm, still and blank state, then disconnect from it, and then connect to Ishwar. So, in the worldly sense, and in usual, I meet the head of state, who is the first citizen of the country. But in the spiritual level, I want to be with Ishwar. So that's why I selected that metaphor. And we discussed it last week. And you do realize that, say, you are ushered into the receptionist, take you to the last anteroom of the president. That final step will be that that door will be opened and you will be taken into the larger room where you meet the head of the state. So when you are in the room next to him, you are in dhyan. Of course, in spiritual direction, you are disconnect from everything. But in the worldly sense, you are disconnect from all thing else. You are just thinking of that, hey, how will you greet him, etc., what you are going to talk to him, etc. Of course, this is to be understood. At that point also, you can be asked to go back. You cannot demand the meeting. His secretary may say his plans have changed and he is not able to meet you. So you might go up to the 7th step and the 8th step doesn't take place. And you cannot shout and demand, no, I came, I have made so many arrangements for this meeting. You just have to quietly go back and then wait for the next appointment. So in our day-to-day practice of meditation, this is a common feature. Is we want to be persistent, total disconnection from my mind, and then what is next going to happen or happen at all or not is all at the prerogative of Ishwar. So, but more and more you have intensity of that desire that is likely to happen. So, of course, that entity is perfect. So, we have to being more qualified for that final meeting. And then, when that meeting takes place, there are different levels. We have seen it. Sampajat Samadhi, and there also Vitak, Vichar, Ananda, Smita, and then Asampajat, and also there are layers there, what your interaction with Ishwar will be like. We also took the opportunity to discuss that overall picture of Yoga, Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, because I am very excited with it, because I don't see any book talking about that big picture. Usually every book they just translate from Sanskrit into English. It doesn't, it looks okay, but it doesn't quite give you the full picture what would have been in Patanjali's mind. Then specifically we have seen Ishwar Pranidhan. In yoga it was a citation of that sound Pranav. In Kriya Yoga it is a citation of Gayatri Mantra. And in Ashtanga Yoga we made some remarks. It is a citation of a series of 17, 18 mantras. Of course, the climax again is Gayatri Mantra there. Then we discussed for newcomers how we are packaging Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. What I called as Gayatri meditation. Now, I don't want to bring new names. So, in my mind now it is what we have been doing in the early part of the course, Patanjali meditation, 20 minutes for newcomers. And what I tried to show you last time, I called it Gayatri Mantra, but I am keen to call it now Patanjali meditation, 30 minutes. So for newcomers, we don't want to give new names. So in PM20, it is just body, mind, and soul. In PM30, Patanjali meditation, 30 minutes, we take the help of Gayatri Mantra. And that I will do it again today, hopefully just in exact 30 minutes. Then we made some remarks, yoga and Hatha Yoga. And I said there are two different things. This is Hatha Yoga is like any other form of body workout, exercise, etc. Just because these four letters of yoga and they are common here, there is no reason of confusion. But throughout the world nowadays, Hatha Yoga is practiced, is taught in the name of yoga. But of course, we expect all of you doing these kind of courses with me. You are fully aware Patanjali Yoga is only yoga, and it's very different from Hatha Yoga. And if you are in practicing Hatha Yoga as well as meditation, my suggestion was to uncouple them, not in space and time as much as possible. And if you are teaching Hatha Yoga, then not to club Patanjali meditation with Hatha Yoga, two distinctly different classes at two different times. Otherwise, this confusion will always, we are just aggravating, adding to this confusion. I didn't talk much about it, but in one of the earlier sessions, I have also, I'm not against anything. I'm just saying that Patanjali Yoga is Patanjali Yoga, and we should treat it as what it is and not let it be diluted or polluted or whatever. So, in the later part of Indian history, somehow Patanjali Yoga has been compromised, and some people have even tended to say that there are many paths of yoga. And they came up with funny idea that they can be karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga, bhakti yoga. This I have discussed in session number 1 or 2, so I don't have to go again in detail. Patanjali Yoga is Abhyas and Vairagyabhyam. Abhyas is practice part, Vairagya, and there is Ishwar Pranidhan, which is what is Bhakti. Meditation practice is Dhyan Yoga. So these components are already included in Patanjali Yoga. And there is no way somebody saying that if you are in Karma Yoga, you get the benefit of you. This is all confusion. The person is not aware of what he is talking. And wherever this is stated is misconception. So in 101, to some extent, we talk Patanjali's practice, etc. But in Patanjali 102, meditate PM102, where we go into Yoga Sutras, I hope all of you are well aware of all this in reality, and you will be, if occasion arises, will be an ambassador of genuine, true, accurate Patanjali Yoga. Let's move on now. Today we are trying to do some more Yoga Sutra statements, particularly Yam and Niyam. So 2 weeks ago we had discussed Ashtanga Yoga, which has 8 limbs: Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. And we have discussed their brief description, what they are. And today we will be discussing the 5 elements of Yam, 5 elements of Niyam. That was also discussed last time, Yam at least I remember. But there are further statements of Patanjali. So that's what is in our mind. Okay. Even this slide I had discussed 2 weeks ago. This is number 1, is limb number 1 called Yam, which is basically don't, certain list of don'ts, not to do that. But they are also referring to our interactions with others. So I can translate it as duties towards others. And they have 5 elements: ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, yama. So this statement, second point 30, ahimsa, not to hurt others; satya, not to take recourse to falsehood or being truthful; asteya, not to take away anybody's belonging without permission; not to steal; brahmacharya, to stay away from lust when we come across a person, particularly of opposite gender. Aparigraha, even if we follow these 4 preceding injunctions, we should not collect or hold too many material belongings, just what is enough for our survival and maybe certain needs. Then I made a remark: ahimsa has its shadow on the following 4, satya on the remaining 3, and so on and so forth. So this order is important. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. They are individually important, but this gives an idea of what element has precedence over what. To bring that, I am using a metaphor which is there in our literature, like why ahimsa is more important than satya. So I can compromise on satya if there is a conflict. If there is no conflict, I have to be truthful. But if there is a conflict, then ahimsa will take precedence over satya. So people cook up a story as if, suppose there is a cow is running away, and you have seen where that animal has gone. And then you see a butcher running towards that, and the cow is hiding somewhere. So you know the butcher is going to kill the cow, hurt the cow. So this is, you are a witness, and now the story goes, if the butcher asks you, where is the cow? Then what should be your answer? How should you answer this question? Reply it. Though you know the exact position of the cow, so if you are truthful, you tell him where the cow is, and then you know it, he will go and kill the cow, which is against the principle of ahimsa. So you followed the principle of satya and told the butcher the correct answer. But what Patanjali's order of precedence is saying is, ahimsa is more important than satya. So here is an example where you can compromise on satya, so to ensure that the cow is not killed or hurt. So, so these are examples. You can cook up many other examples. So that was one thing. And Brahmacharya, again, I am highlighting something just to make certain remarks. So here, 2 weeks ago, we looked at certain words. That was preparatory to Gayatri Mantra. Because in Gayatri Mantra, the key word is Bharga. And it's if you recite, if you speak out the word in a verse manner, it is Garbha. Garb means, so I was trying to give you a list of certain words. And towards the end, there was a word, Kashyapa. This is a 3 syllables. So this is, if I reverse it, it is Pachyaka. I made certain remarks, but now it is in order because we are talking Brahmacharya, where I want to be away from lustful thoughts. So that is the meaning of Brahmacharya. But in the context of meditation, it has a certain wider, it is a wider context. So let's look at it. And though I made this remark, but I am doing it again. So this is a Ved mantra from Teyayusham Jamadagni Kashyapa Teyayusham. So here it is said that the nominal age for human being is 100 years. We are not exactly there, but with the advancements, particularly in medical science, the lifespan is increasing. I think the global level it is around 60 plus something. But in certain other countries, it is even 80 plus or so. So lifespan is increasing. Not that we have become a better human beings qualitatively, but our nutrition, food, and preventive and of course the medical health programs are helping that way. But what this Ved mantra is trying to say is Jamadagni. So basically, there is a fire in the belly, so to say. If if your physical health is good, you have a good appetite. So that is one factor. That is good for physical health. And if somebody is physically active and that fire is there in the belly, then yes, that can pull on up to 100 years. And that is what we are going in that direction. But but it uses the word, the second parameter is Kashyapa Teyayusham. So if there is another inner fire, now that inner fire is not physical, not in that gross physical sense, it is due to the meditative practice. So if you are deep in meditation, of course, a usual common human being is seeing through the eyes. So that is Pashyata, Pashyati iti Pashu. So that is the meaning of the word. If a human being, and that human being is not much different from an animal. Animal is called as Pashu. So they also see through outer eyes, and we also see through the outer eyes, benefiting from the sunlight, etc. etc. Of course, we have made one advancement. We have invented fire. So even after the sunset, we have artificial sources of light and so on and so forth. This is our scientific and technological advancement. But it doesn't change much behaviorally from what we are as a human being. These are all physical advancements in the material domain, in the worldly sense. But if I am advancing in the spiritual realm, that is giving me an inner eye. So that's what Sampajat Samadhi and beyond it. So if I am going in that direction, then I am not just merely a Pashyaka, that is the reverse word is Kashyapa. So I will become a Kashyapa if I have my inner eyes are functioning. I can see the burger. Like in the sunlight, I can see what is around me in the surroundings in the world. If I am practicing in meditation properly, then I will be able to see the burger, which is one to one with the sun. And now my intellect is like my outer eyes. So I hope you can see the pairs I am making. In the outer world, there is the sun and my outer eyes. In the spiritual world, there is burger and my intellect is my inner eye. So that is what is said in Gayatri Mantra. I see the burger. Now it helps me proceed in the journey. Dhyo yona prachodayat. Now that burger is guiding me in that journey, spiritual journey. If I am doing all that, then I am Kashyapa. And then I am likely to have the lifespan of 300 years. That's what Vedas are saying. And what will be its effect to it? So I was trying to say that time, so in the worldly life, food is fuel for the body. That what is Jamadagni, fire in the belly. So there is a fire and food is supplied, and that fire is digesting, is burning the food and releasing the physical energy out of it, isn't it? And now when I am a Kashyapa, then the vital fluid that is generated at the end of the food has a chain. The blood is formed, all kinds of in the whole anatomy, the bones and all that has been formed out of the food I have supplied to the body, is it not? All parts of the body has grown. That's why it is called Annamaya course. It has derived everything from the food I was eating, is it not? So food was the fuel, and that was giving me physical energy. Now that I am a Kashyapa, so now, and the end product of the food is what is called that vital fluid. That is the last thing. Now that last vital fluid becomes fuel for a Kashyapa. Otherwise, we know in present medical science, if somebody says that vital fluid is lost during the sleep, night out and so on, so it is not treated as a big loss. What a doctor will say, just like if you lose blood, blood is formed again, isn't it? So if you lose that vital fluid, that will be formed again. But if that is the answer, then we have not much to guide to the humanity. Then that person will say, rather than losing like that, I might as well use it in sexual activity, is it not? He will say, why should I lose it deep in my sleep? Let me derive some pleasure out of it in sexual in under activity, etc. So, what will the medical doctor say? It has no answer. But as we are discussing these things with the Patanjali's philosophy, what we are saying, it is a claim, it is a speculation. I cannot say much. I don't know if medical science has looked into these aspects, but that's what Mahesh Dayanand is writing in Satyat Prakar. What he's saying is, we khap jata hai. That is his wording. So what he's saying is vital fluid now becomes fuel in the process of deep meditation, and that gives out further energy, which finally does something to you that your whole system, body, mind, soul put together, is at a higher level. And not only physically, in all dimensions, you are likely to live longer and have a better quality of life. So this comment was not made in in as much as detail as I would have liked to do it. So that is what we have discussed today now. Now we are ready to go into the next 10 statements, or 11 probably, of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And let me just go through them one by one. So they are related to 5 elements of yam and 5 of niyam. And generally saying, If I have mastered them, then what am I going to see? So 35 is saying, Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhav vaityaga. So, ahimsa, people translate as non-violence, and it's very difficult to translate exactly. But anyway, I am translating is a tendency not to hurt somebody. So if you are very careful, very much concerned, you are not self-centered, you are centered, you are other-centered. The second person, third person, that they should not be hurt, that means you have no enmity towards others. So in its limiting case, if ahimsa has become part of your life, then you will not look at anybody as your enemy and absence of enmity. 36 is saying, Satya Pratisthayam Kiya Phala Ashayatvam. If you have mastered or fully acquired truthfulness in your life, then Kiya is like any activity. It's slightly looser than karma. Karma is what you do thoughtfully. Kiya is, it's anything we do is Kiya. So karma is something you have decided and acted to do that. So Kriya is more natural tendencies. And anything you do, like you brush your teeth, it gives you a result. You feel the fresh breath, isn't it? Something happens. But there are a lot of activity we do, like even attending to these classes or studying Patanjali Yoga Sutra, etc., etc. They may or may not bring desired results, or even if they bring not in as soon as possible, as soon as we will desire. The results may come much later. But what Patanjali is saying is, if you have acquired truthfulness, it has become part of your life, then you are likely to see the rewards of anything that you do in much sooner, much less time. So things brings their rewards, anything which otherwise a lot of things you are doing, but the desired rewards are not coming. There can be long discussion on all this, but I think it's just okay. Aste pratisthayam sarvatno ratna upsthanam. So it becomes a Sandhi, sarvatnopasthanam. Aste leads to all gems. These are literal translations, but let's look at it this way. If you are so much indifferent to others' belonging, if somebody's cash is lying $1 million, and you are just not at all tempted, as if this is just piece of paper. If you have come to that point, then nothing is tempting to you. Nothing is tempting to you, it means as if you have everything with you. So you can look at this translation as if you have all the wealth of the world, because you are not tempted by anybody's wealth. So aste leads to that, as if you have everything, all kinds of diamond jewelry, whatever is very, very expensive, people go after them and they keep them in safety vault, etc. But whatever they get out of it, yes, I own them. You already have that feeling because, typically a common human being has certain wealth, but he desires to upgrade his wealth. If somebody has $20 billion every day or every month, every week, his secretary reports him. Today, what is the value of your wealth? And he is very happy if it is increasing. Of course, if it decreases, he feels slightly, but it's too much of a wealth, it might not go into depression. But overall, his desire is if my wealth should increase with time or stay wherever it is. But if you have acquired a stay, that element of yam within yourself, then you are already in a state that you are indifferent to your upgrade. You are just not concerned. So you are even one echelon, one level above the wealthiest person in the world, isn't it? Brahmacharya leads to vital energy. We have already discussed that. A young, beautiful woman is there. If you just take her as like we know, natural love towards a daughter, sister, etc., that doesn't affect us. So if it is like that towards all the women, then you are likely to what we have already discussed in Kashyap, etc. Apaigya leads to knowing of the previous life. Janma Kathan, Janma Kathanta Sambodha. We, it is not saying previous life, but it is included implicitly. Of course, we don't know everything about our present life also. If somebody asked me on that particular day, that time, where were you, what were you doing, I will say I don't remember that, specifically, and that is a good thing that we forget all these unnecessary details. Otherwise, we would be loaded with unnecessary trash in our mind. But here the thing is, your life is taking certain course, and there are important milestones in life, everybody's life, and if you are concerned with your life, you you do want to benefit from your all the important things happened in your life. They could have inspired you, but somehow you missed them, isn't it? And with apaigya is the tendency not to collect too many material things, just bare minimum things, and you are satisfied with it. This is a bit unusual. Patanjali could have ended with those four elements, because once we have gathered those four, ahimsa, satya, asteya, and brahmacharya, I am a good human being. And with those four elements, if I gather millions of dollars, in the eyes of the society, I am doing nothing wrong. I am a good human being. I have earned several millions of dollars, but if I have maintained ahimsa, satya, asteya, and brahmacharya, I have not compromised anywhere. I have been an honest, good human being, and I have earned this much money. So, in the eyes of the society, I am a very good, successful human being. But Patanjali is saying, you don't need this much of material wealth, so many houses, so many investments here and there, because if you have too many, your mind is likely to wander in all that. You will think about that. And if you have too many possessions, they are maintenance, they are taking care of them. We are aware of all this. I am 60 plus now. I meet a lot of friends. They say, I moved into a big house, but now I see I am working for the house rather than house is giving me a source of pleasure. You have to maintain the pool, this, that. So many things are happening. So at older age, they say, I want to move to a smaller house or another kind of. I don't want to devote this much time. And so, point is, if you have more material possession, you will be working for them. Generally, common man says, I work for money, but he forgets finally, actually, you want money to work for you, having earned the money. But a young man never transforms his life. He starts his life with working for money, and it like he becomes as if money is the master and you are working for money rather than money working for you. So you have to strike a correct balance, and that is what apaigya is. And if you have mastered, of course, it will be different for different human beings. If you are a young householder, you have small children, then you have to assess your needs in an objective manner. If you are a student, your needs are different. Your obligations, responsibilities are different. And if you are retired in 60s and 70s, your responsibilities are different. So apayikya may have different meanings for different individuals. But if you are honestly focused on apayikya, which everybody ought to, that will ensure you lead a balanced life. And if you have really mastered it, if you have really fully acquired it, has become part of you, you have assimilated it, then I do think there are moments in your life when the previous events which you had overlooked, they come back to you and you think about them and they inspire you in the future. In particular, in my life, I will say there was a particular thing like a child. As a child, I used to go with my father. He used to go for a morning walk in a park and sit somewhere and do his meditation. That time, I didn't know what we call sandhya, how to do it as a meditative experience. I didn't know it. But when I switched over and now for last 20 years I am in this business of teaching Patanjali yoga and associated Vedic philosophy. Now much later phase that event came in my life that my father used to do sandhya in silent mode. That was meditative experience. So that event has become a very turning point in my life. Of course, it was there for so many years, but when I myself went into Patanjali Yoga to some extent, when I probably became qualified enough to be inspired by that event, then somehow it happened. So these things, and this could happen even with the previous life event. Why not? Something you can be inspired. You may not know where it came from. And indeed, I sometimes feel in my previous life, because I can see what are my sanskars that are obstructing me in my personal spiritual journey. So sometimes I get an indication, maybe I gathered those sanskars not in the current life, maybe in the previous life. So certain things can happen. So that is what I will say is interpretation of what Patanjali is saying. The niyam now, second limb of niyam, which are duties to my own self. Now I am looking at myself as a individual. Then he's suggesting five elements: Shauch, Santosh, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishwar, Pranidhan. This is cleanliness. Of course, Maharishi Dayanand goes much into for physical and mental mind direction also. But I think I am satisfied with that physical body domain because I look at it as an inward journey. So, each of them, Patanjali is always going from outer to inner domains. So I am happy with it such as with physical body. But of course, not only external cleansing, internal cleansing also. So this I am happy with it related to the physical body domain and taking care that it is clean by brushing our teeth, taking shower, and of course drinking a lot of water, which flushes out toxins, and taking good care from in all possible manner. And many of this we have discussed in Wamel, Patanjali Meditation 101, etc. Santosh I see more related to our mind domain. So this is a sense of contentment. And we will discuss it in next two slides. So Tapa Swadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhan was also the second point one, which is what Kriya Yoga is. So Kriya Yoga is the latter three elements of Niyam. Now in Ashtanga Yoga it is there, but there is a bigger prescription. Tap is austerity, not to remain steadfast, not to be deviated by external forces or internal forces, mood swings, etc. Swadhyaya, self-study and study of self, introspection. Ishwar Pranidhan is finally devotion to Ishwar, total surrender. Just like I think we described it, if I work 8 hours in the office, I surrender to my employer, my organization, my manager. I say that I am giving my best of these 8 hours to this organization. And in the reward, I get a monthly paycheck. Just try to, in the limiting sense, because I am being seen, somebody is monitoring my progress, how I am executing a particular project. So there is all kinds of interactions with my manager and so on and so forth. So that is a very limited thing. If you can expand it 24 by 7 and to another agency, namely Ishwar, that is what Patanjali is saying. If I am fully devoted, anything I do is for him, is dedicated to him. Of course, I may do certain personal thing like brushing my teeth, taking shower, etc. But that is also to enable me function other things better, isn't it? So my focus is I want to be a good child of Ishwar in the world, isn't it? And that is what is the meaning of the term Arya. We are in Arya Samaj. The word Arya means, by Maharishi Yask says, Arya Ishwar Putra. So if I am his child, I am fully devoted, I am doing things to please him. Like a small child does a few small things to please his mother, isn't it? And he feels very excited, happy to do that. He's helping his mother in a very tiny manner, but it gives him a lot of excitement, feeling good, etc. Just imagine we do it for mind, soul, for Ishwar. That is Ishwar Pranidhan. Okay, let's quickly look at it. It's 7:58 in my computer, 2 minutes. Then I want to go PM30, Patanjali Meditation 30. So, what are the benefits of these five? Short, there are two statements given. I will just read them out. Cleanliness, short, leads to non attraction to the self body and physical intimacy with others. When we know it, when we clean our system, we know the body system is also, it's had all the vital organs, but is also a kind of reservoir for waste products, etc. That is what is the body system. And if any part of the body comes out, it's not very attractive, isn't it? Which we want to be away from it. We don't want to look at it much. So if you are doing it properly, there is a tendency not, there is not, so jugupsa is a word, non-attractiveness. So you are not, that's what I've translated, non-attraction. Otherwise, a common man is very proud of his body figure, how he looks or how she looks. And then, of course, we know it. We get attracted to people of particularly of opposite gender. So all that is, it will be slightly, that factor will be helpful in taking care of it. Then further, the second statement is 41. Sattva Shuddhi Somanasya Ekagya Indriya Jayat Indriya Jaya Atma Darshan Yogyatva. So many benefits are being said. Always the sequence is from outer direction to the inward. Sattva Shuddhi, purity of mind, Somanasya, cheerfulness, Ekagya, focused mind, Indrijaya, conquered senses, what is called Jitendriya, and then Atma Darshan Yogyatva, ability to self-realization. So we are familiar with when you take a shower, you comes out of it. You have a feeling, isn't it? So this, in this order, that is what he is saying. Second element of Niyam was Santosh, translated as contentment. His statement is Santoshad Anuttama Sukh Labha. Uttam is superlative, highest order. Anuttama is a strange way of saying there is nothing beyond that. So, of course, he doesn't want to say Santosh is the final entity. Otherwise, why to go for Vivekyati, etc.? But in the worldly sense, there is nothing that will give you joy or pleasure, happiness beyond what Santosh can give. So, Santosh is a state of my mind that is, you can train your mind to be contented with it. So, that helps you in all those yam and niyam. If you feel contented, then most of the problems are solved, because otherwise we go after all kinds of worldly acquisitions, whether money, fame, or name, or whatever, all that. So if you feel contented, so that's what he's saying. It brings you to a feeling as if you are already happy. So his climax of worldly sukh is a sukh and dukha related to body domain, body, mind, and all. This is still you are in the outer domain, but you are in body as well as mind now. Short was particularly on the body domain. Now we are going inward. So Sukh and Dukha are more related to the body. Shanti, etc., more related to mind. And then when I am alone, the Atma Tattva alone, then we are always saying, I am only in Anand. That is the philosophical basis why we learn meditation. If I am disconnect from body, mind, I will be always in blissfulness, isn't it? So that is our driving force, why we are learning meditation. So with Santosh, it's already, things are taken care of. Otherwise, your mind is agitated. I want this, I want that. So if you train your mind, yes, anything, I want to progress in my life, and I am contented. That doesn't mean I give up. I want to execute this project. I want to build another house. All that is fine. But nobody stops me at this moment. I am a contented person. That is what is desired. Very quickly, again, exceeding 3 minutes now. Tapa kaya indriya siddhi ashuddhi kshaya tapasa. Brings refinement to the body and senses by ashuddhi kshayat, washing away impurity. These are impurities from more from the body and senses. So kaya is body. So we are still, it's not the impurities of mind. Because tapas is, you want to come to this class, even if it is raining heavy or it's too cold. So these external forces are not able to deter you. You are focused. You want to sit for meditation morning and evening and this and that. Sometimes you are disturbed, you are tired, but still you say, no, I will sit. So external situations with body, mind, and in external world may go through all kinds of fluctuations, but you still want to do it. That is called tapa. So this is body and mind are together now, and you want to be above them. They may not feel good, but still you say, I want to progress, I want to do this. So you must cooperate. So you are insisting your body and mind to cooperate, and if you do it, then all those the non-equilibrium things in your body and mind, they will get away. If you just stay in home, sitting on sofa, do nothing, your body will pick up all kinds of ailments, isn't it? So if we are steadfast, I will go for morning walk, come what may, even if it is hot sun, this and that. That way your body is in more flexible state. So that sort of flexibility in body and mind is tapa. So external forces are. So Adhyay we have discussed self-study and okay, in the context of Patanjali's statement, Swadhyaya Ishtadevta Sampayog. Again, there is a lot of confusion here. Devta here is what Yask is saying. Devta Dhanadva, Deepnadva, Jyotnadva. Devta is one who gives light, outer light as well as inner light of knowledge, and one who can make you enlightened. So that is Devta, Divya Dhatu, Divdat. The root is Div. So what is he saying is, I want to be enlightened with a piece of knowledge. That is what I am seeking. Like you are here to acquire the knowledge of Patanjali Yoga. So that is your Ishta Devta. What is Ishta Devta? Is the light of knowledge pertaining to Patanjali Yoga. So Ishta Devta is not a idol in a murti in a temple. Ishta Devta is your focused piece of knowledge that you want to acquire. Once you have acquired, it will enlighten your mind, isn't it? So Devta is one who enlightens your mind. And with self-study, you will be getting closer to that. Samadhi Siddhi Ishwar Pranidhana. We have discussed Ishwar Pranidhan, and what that is what I have been saying. Between Dhyan and Samadhi, that jump comes how much you love Ishwar. How much are you surrendering to him? How much like a child has that feeling towards his mother, a small child, 1 year, 2 year old child. So we have to acquire that sort of a thing towards this cosmic mother. Then the jump from dhyan to samadhi will come. Because that's like I said, meeting with the head of the state. Otherwise, that door doesn't open. That door will open, the final door, if Ishwar Pranidhan is. Okay, again 8 minutes late. But I can go back to that. I will in this webinar room, and there is a Gayatri Mantra. So let's begin quickly. As if I am doing to a newcomer, PM30, Patanjali meditation, 30 minutes, where we use Gayatri Mantra to motivate our mind. We are going to devote next 30 minutes to Patanjali meditation with Gayatri Mantra as lending a helping hand. There are three major steps to discipline our body, disciplining the breathing, then disciplining the mind. To discipline the body, we usually take a sitting posture. We sit cross-legged like this. You fold your feet, bring the feet under your thighs. Your hands can be on the knees or one palm above another, whichever way you do it, or the fingers are interlocked. Taking care your spine, your lower back, and the shoulders, neck is in a straight line, but not too stiff. We want to be loose and relaxed. Flexibility. And if you are sitting on a chair, your back can be separated from the chair's back. Try to be slightly straight. Your hands can be on your knees and whatever is comfortable. Follow your instinct and want to be in a natural pose. Second step of disciplining our breathing, we do a breathing cycle with 4 phases, and we do 3 such cycles before we attempt to go to meditation. Let me describe to you. In phase 1, we do a breathe out, throwing away our inner air through our nostrils, focusing our mind on the lower abdomen. So, if my mind is focused there, I am emptying my abdomen and throwing out air through my nostril. Let me show that. And if I hold my palm on the abdomen, naturally, as I empty my abdomen, it will shrink inward and my palm will move down inward. So here I do phase 1, deep breathe out. It begins now. This was phase 1. In phase 2, I hold the breath out. Now there is no abdominal movement. I maintain that vacuum as long as possible. At the onset of discomfort, I move to phase 3 and fill in the air again through the nostrils. A deep breathe in that begins now. During the phase 3, my abdomen is expanding outward and my palms could feel it. Having filled in phase 4, again the system is airtight and my palm is not moving, no abdominal movement. At the onset of discomfort, I do now the breathe out, which will be phase 1 of the next cycle. So, in such a manner, uninterrupted, we do 3 cycles as a precursor to meditation. If you have time, you can do 5 cycles also or more, 7, so many. Okay, now we are ready to understand the phase 3 of Patanjali Meditation 30. Here we take a course to Gayatri Mantra. Let me do the screen share and show you the Gayatri Mantra. Oh, sorry, I have to go back. I was not ready with that. Let me open the slide of Gayatri Mantra. Yeah. Sorry, it's taking slightly longer. Yeah. Oh, again, I go to webinar room, screen share. Yeah, now it will show up. My slide is open. So here is the slide for the Gayatri Mantra. There are 3 parts here. The first 2 lines, Gayatri Mantra in Sanskrit. The same mantra in the Roman transliteration. If you can not read the first 2 lines, hopefully you can read the 3rd and 4th line. And its brief meaning, I am who? I am ever existent. My soul is ever existent. My body takes birth, but not the soul. This is never to be born, never will die. And very instinctively, I wish to get away from pain and I desire to be happy. So these are my motivations to be with when I am reciting Gayatri Mantra. And the primary meaning is there is a bright light, namely Bharga, which is right in my mind, right inside, closest to me. And that is most desirable, and that is within me. And if you reverse the word Bharga, you recite it as Garbha. That means my innermost domain, my womb. So in my innermost domain exists Bharga, which is the brightest light, brighter than the sun. And that is most desirable. Like in the worldly sense, I desire the outside sunlight to be away from any pitfalls, any painful situation. As a human being, we need that inner light also, which is there. But I don't see it. Why don't I see it? Because I am always watching what my mind is displaying to me. So the objective of meditation is to bring my mind calm. My mind screen is blank. Then I disconnect from my mind, and then maybe, hopefully, I will begin to see a bright light within me that is called Bharga. With repeated practice, when it is really there, that will not just be visible to me in meditation, that will propel my life 24 by 7. That will brighten our path to happiness. Then my buddhi, my intellect will function inspired by that bright light. Then the quality of life will be different, and overall, I will be leading a more happy life. So, we are learning meditation not just to experience in these 30 minutes something. We do want to experience something new here when I am disconnect from my mind, but that should have an after effect on 24 hours of my day-to-day life, and that's what I am visualizing. So that was Gayatri Mantra. Coming back to my setting, this is what the 3rd step of Patanjali is, disciplining the mind. We recite this Gayatri Mantra 3 times. First time is this kind of a sound, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Second time will be whispering sound, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Only the neighbor can hear. Third time will be mental recitation, My mind will be engaged with Gayatri Mantra. Only lips moving, but no sound will come out. So as soon as this three excitations are over, we focus our mind here at the third eye, where my nose and two eyebrows meet. With my eyes closed, I insist my mind to be settled here, as if that is the hook where it should get hooked. And in few moments, I will be very quite confident my mind is settled there. Then I, me, the soul, the consciousness, observe in my upper forehead with my eyes closed. It's a wide expanse like a sky, and I try to seek out that bright light. But whatever is displayed there, I have no problem. I observe it in a detached manner. It may not be a bright light, it may be a dark sky, or slightly any color, whatever it is. There may be image moving, whatever it is. I continue to observe it in a detached manner and being very careful that no distinct thought wave should enter in my domain of mind consideration. If I notice a thought wave is about to enter, I use a sound, or I use this as an instruction to my mind, don't send in a thought wave. I want to stay disconnect from my mind. And if somehow I got into a thought, I began into, I got into a web of thought, and suddenly I realized it, I wanted to be in meditation. Then you do a single deep breathe out. As you throw out the air through your nostrils, imagine that whole web of thought has been thrown out. And now, again instruct your mind. Again observe that sky in your upper forehead. Just watch out, just look out, look forward to a bright light. Even if it is not bright light, just stay hooked there. Don't go into any thoughts. So that's what we are. Now we are ready to walk these three steps together, and I will set an alarm. 8:20 now. Setting an alarm for 20:32. So 32 minutes past 8, that gives us exact. I have now 13 minutes, which will, some minutes will go for breathing and recitation. So we will have good 10 minutes for real meditation. Let's put it together. We are implementing the step 1 of disciplining our body. I have taken the posture. Just shake away any kind of stiffness from your major bone joints. You are feeling good. With our eyes closed, we scan our body from head to the toe in succession and ensure every body part is in word of tension, stiffness. And this moment, and even in the later moments, always be open to make necessary adjustment in your body posture. Certain body signals will come to you, and interpret them properly and make body adjustments. So that was our first step of discipline our body. There is a gentle, mild smile on your face. All done. Now we do 3 cycles of deep breathing. Here it begins. Deep breathe out. Hold the breath out. Deep breathe in. Hold the breath within. Cycle number 2. Deep breathe out. The abdomen moving inward. Hold the breath out. No abdominal movement. Deep breathe in. Hold the breath within. The last final cycle. Deep breathe out. Abdomen moving inward. Hold the breath out. No abdominal movement. Deep breathe in. Abdomen expands outward. Hold the breath within. No abdominal movement. We take a pause for a while before moving to the step number 3 to discipline our mind. Our body's automated mechanism takes charge of our breathing now. So from this moment on, we should not be concerned with our breathing. Our body will do it as it does in deep sleep. Now we are ready for the third and final step. We will recite the Gayatri Mantra 3 times together. Then focus our mind at the third eye. Then observe. Look for a bright light while observing in your upper forehead. If a thought wave is likely to strike, instruct your mind with the sound or mentally reciting. Let's recite the Gayatri Mantra together. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimah Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya Om Bhurbhuva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimah Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. We can gradually open our eyes. That was our attempt to be in meditation with the help of Gayatri Mantra. With this, we conclude the 13th session. All the best. See you next week.